Namaste yogis, and welcome to a fun and simple flow to help open up the side body, warm up the legs, the shoulders, and get us ready to play upside down in our pincha mayurasana or our forearm stand. Today's practice will be made much easier with 2 blocks. They're just nice to help us open and unfold. We will get right into it because we have a lot to do today. So grab your 2 blocks, set them out on their lowest side at the front of your mat. Set yourself up in table at first with hands just behind the blocks, hips over the knees, untucking the toes, pressing shins down, and walking the hands onto the block. Try to keep the alignment of hips and knees in one strong line as you step the blocks forward. One more step, and then begin to bring the chest down, chin down. For some of you, it'll feel a lot more comfortable to have your forehead to the mat. For those of you like me who have straight necks, it's better to have the chin down. And what I want you to just focus on is the sensation in the shoulders, in the underarms, in the side waist, side chest, and just notice what those places are telling you. The forearm stand is one of the more challenging inversions. But just like any other upside down pose in yoga, if we focus on the sensation rather than the expectation of the pose, we tend to find a little more balance, a lot more stability. We effort less and feel more. So let that be your mantra as we play today. Effort less, feel more. Taking a big inhale, lift the head away from the mat, ease out of the shoulders, curl tailbone towards the bottom of the rib cage towards the tailbone as though you were in cat. Taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, settle back down, bring the chest back down, grounding the body into the mat. Articulate the tailbone up nice and high. Keep pressing the feet down into the mat. Breathe here for one more simple breath. Step your hands off your blocks. Forearms press into the mat and begin to make your way in to our table, and we'll just shake and shimmy that out. Twisting side to side, maybe even stepping the hands a little more forward of the shoulders and taking some barrel rolls. As we inhale, press up through the back side of the heart, drop over to the right, drag the belly center, lift up left, and just move through those a few times, bending the elbows as you move through this time, getting out of the head, loosening the neck, and then going in the opposite direction. A lot of the times as we move into our inversions, we hold on so tightly that the neck and the head become so stiff. So we want to start just by moving everything around. And then tick-tock side to side as you bring one shoulder to the hip and then the other. Staying here for a moment, slide the hands back to neutral, belly in. Find table just for a moment and notice how your shoulders feel here as you press down into the mat, pull belly in. Does it feel like you're struggling to be here? Does it feel effortless? Can you find a space in between where you're grounding into the hands, fingertips engaged, belly in, shoulders back and down? Finding that length, that Tadasana spine that we'll need for our forearm stand. And then finally, just begin to walk the knees a little bit closer to the wrists. Settle one block off the mat out of your way. Take the other one either on its flattest side, horizontally across the mat, or on its medium side. You'll know pretty quickly which one's better for you. We'll flip over. We want the block to line up right in between our shoulder blades. As you're ready, settle the block down on its appropriate side. Take your hands to the mat, elbows down, and begin to settle yourself here. Tune in for a moment before we rest all the way back and take the weight out of our arms. Just begin to lift the heart, lift the chin. Decide if you're comfortable here, and if you are, just drop the head back. Maybe that's a bit too much. If we spend a lot of time working on a computer or driving in the car, this might be too sensational, and we'll chuck the other block underneath our head, beginning softly. Wherever you are, press the heels into the mat. Lift the tailbone gently, scoop it towards the heels, lengthen out the low back. And then slide the hands out by your side. Knees stay bent for the next few moments as we just begin to unlock the throat. Again, as we move through inversions, we take a lot of needless tension into the front side of the neck. Let's see how much space we can create here now. Maybe taking in a big inhale and letting out a lion's breath. Pull the tongue out of the mouth, cross the eyes, powerful exhale. And then bringing the hands, interlace them behind the head. Tone the core a little bit as though you're coming up into a crunch. Bring the head to neutral and then rest the head into the arms. Continuing that tone of the low belly so that the low back is supported. The tailbone is still reaching towards the heels, but then we'll begin to walk the heels long out towards the edge of the mat. Pull in a nice big inhale, and on the exhale, begin to lean back. Let the elbows go wide so that the underarms begin to feel an opening, maybe deep into the heads of the biceps. And each inhale, fill up, lift the head just a little bit as you tone the upper abdomen. And then exhale, let the head fall a little bit further. And we'll just ride the wave of our breath here for a few moments. So inhale, tone, contract the belly. And exhale, release the head. Starting to feel some unknitting maybe in the upper back, the underarms, and into the biceps. If you're here and you're struggling, it just feels like it's way too much. Stay chalked onto your block, but let your elbows stay wide. And just practice the art of inhale, tone the belly, and exhale, surrender. We'll do that one more time. Maybe lift up a little bit higher than you have before. Move from the center of the body. Keep the neck long. Forget the need to pull the chin into the chest. And then on the exhale, settle back down. Let the elbows move towards the earth, the crown of the head move towards the earth, and then maybe lengthen the feet out a little bit more, feeling some length across the back line of the body. Breathe here. Ask yourself, where am I fighting this? Where can I let go? And then gently release the hands from behind the head. Take the forearms to the mat. Curl chin into chest. Press down into the fingertips. Find your way into fish. As you lift the heart, drop the head back once more. We're going to be dropping the head back quite a bit today. And then finally, as you breathe in, bring the chin into the chest. Walk the feet into the body. Shift your weight a little bit into that right arm and bring your block out from underneath you. For just a moment, stay lifted onto forearms. Bring the left arm back down. And slowly begin to wander the back onto the mat. Pick the head up just an inch or so and lengthen the back side of the neck so that you feel all the wrinkles behind your neck disappear. Roll the shoulders back so you start to feel as though the upper back is pillowed on to a bolster. Walk the feet in a little bit more as we set up to take bridge, but it's a slightly different bridge. So if you notice, my fingertips are pointed skyward. My upper arms are digging into the mat, and it's helping to maintain that arch from the top of my hips to the top of my shoulders. And I want to retract the shoulder blades into the spine, so I'm activating, pulling in strongly. Ground down through the feet, even spread all 10 toes so that they're firmly rooted. And then on an inhale, tone the navel center, pull the pelvic floor up and in. Start to yoke the lower half of the body. At the bottom of an exhale, when there's nothing left to give, power up through the arms, through the feet, press up, lift up, squeeze up. And as you do, maintain the squeeze of inner thighs. Glutes are going to want you to splay the knees out wide, but instead you're lifting straight up, magnetizing inner thighs, grounding down through the arms and pressing back through the base of the skull, trying to move the chest towards the chin rather than the chin towards the chest. Maintain that squeeze, feel a little shake, maybe a little burn, and then settle the low back all the way onto the mat. Before we bring our knees together or hug them into the chest, we'll do that one more time. This time, bind the fingers together, point straight up towards the sky. Squeeze shoulder blades in. Start to feel the drawing in of the low belly and pelvic floor lifting. That will be the center of our movement. Press down through the feet. On an inhale, fill the body up. And as the exhale leaves, begin to ground down, lift up, peel up, press up, squeeze, hold, and breathe. And each time you inhale, notice where you're letting go. Ask yourself, what is my big toe doing? What are my shoulders doing? What is my face doing? And then softly bringing everything down. Take a big squeeze here. Bring right knee in and then left knee. Pick the head up, curl into a tiny little ball. Wrap the arms around the shins, point the toes, and just give yourself a nice squeeze. Relax the head back down, but keep drawing the knees in nice and tight. Press the toes towards the back edge of your mat, and then activate your hip flexors here. Start to press the tailbone strongly into the mat as you hug arms in. You'll start to feel nice compression across the front side of the hips. Breathe. Release. And then in your own time, we'll roll onto our right side, scoop the hips over, and begin to make our way towards table once more. Coming over completely, hands underneath the shoulders, hips underneath the knees, hollowing out the belly, so feeling everything draw up and in, and broaden the chest here. So instead of collapsing in with the heads of the shoulders rolling in, we want to wrap the triceps out and around. We want to squeeze through the arms as though they're going to touch, squeezing through the legs as though they're going to touch, and root down strongly. On an inhale, we'll begin to move towards our thread the needle, starting by drawing the left hand up towards the sky. Reach up, lift up, press up, and then bringing it back down. This time, inhale, drop the belly, cat. As you exhale, press the back of the heart up, lift the left hand nice and high. Next, inhale, drop the belly. Start to feed the left hand underneath right shoulder, bringing left ear down. Keep the thumb side of the hand pointing up on that left hand so that you're digging down with the pinky. Walk the right fingertips forward, temple them on the earth, and then creep crawl them towards the crown of the head. Once they're there, squeeze through the lower half of the body. Press down with the feet, navel center in. Roll the right shoulder open by pressing down with right fingertips firmly. Continue to pull that right hip down and forward so that it's not spilling into the left side body. We're staying active in the right. If you're here and you're happy, stay here, or maybe begin to swim the right hand towards the sky. Wrap it around, take a hold of that left side thigh, squeeze, roll the shoulder back, open it up, press down through that left pinky as you roll the right shoulder open. And then release the right hand to the mat. Slight change from where you might think we're going. Press down into the right hand. Inhale, left hand straight up towards the sky. And then start to shift your focus. Think about your left foot. Power up the right hand. Press in. Inhale, lift up. Facing the left edge of your mat, left hand back, right hand forward. Some of us will stay right here. Those of us with a little more mobility in our spine will start to either take our left hand to our left hip, or maybe left hand to left heel as we bring the right hand up and back. Notice I'm not in my deepest camel ever, so if you're here, stay here. If you're holding onto that heel, it's a very gentle reach, very gentle tap. And then we're just going to pulse the right arm back a few times. Just finding some expansion in the side body. And gently inhale, breathe back up. Bring the left hand behind you, right hand forward if it's not there already, and then slowly right hand to the mat, left hand down. Inhale as you re-firm into your table. Find some strength here. Exhale, lift the right hand, breathing out strongly, and then settle it back down. Cow pose. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. Exhale, cat as you pull belly in, chin to chest. Bring the right hand up with it. When your next inhale comes around, drop the belly, slide the right hand underneath the left, thumb side up, right temple to the mat, belly in. And then begin to walk the left fingertips forward. As the left fingertips crawl forward, reach them just in front of the crown of the head. Pull the left hip forward, press down through the feet, and then ground down through the fingertips as you roll left shoulder open. Notice the right thumb points towards the sky. Pinky edge presses in. Belly is in. All parts of us working. And then maybe you stay here, or you begin to take the left hand towards the sky. Wrap it around the low back. Take a hold of the thigh here. Maybe you're working on getting here and it's not quite there for you today. Take the heel of your hand to your low back, pressing slightly down the tailbone and then rolling the shoulder open. Wherever you are, just maintain that shoulder opening. Press down through the right arm as you peel open with the left. Inhale back. Left hand comes back underneath left shoulder. Press into those fingertips. Allow the right fingertips to lift all the way up to the sky, and then power through an inhale to bring the arms wide right and left. Chest faces slightly towards the right edge of your mat. Shoulders are relaxed, so try not to keep them into the ears, settle them. And then looking either at your right hip or your right heel, start to take that connection of fingertip to heel or hip, bringing the chest skyward. Notice the palm of the left hand is facing the sky, and then we begin to pulse. And maybe this is too much, maybe this is too much, and instead you're here taking your right hand to your belly, feeling that pull in and just pulsing with standing on our knees. Either way is doing the same action. We're just feeling for ourselves and efforting less. Inhale, left hand forward, right hand back, twist. And then slowly left hand down, right hand to follow. And we'll take those little organic movements again. So maybe some barrel rolls over to the right, just feeling the movement in shoulders. Maybe we're a little less snap, crackly, and poppy than before. And then switching over to the opposite direction, just feeling the body spin in space. And then finally readjusting, hands under shoulders, stepping the right foot back and then the left so that we're in a full plank. And as we're here, we won't be here long. We're just finding the distance for our down dog. Next, inhale, pick the hips up. Keep the heels lifted here at first. Wrap the shoulders away from the ears to broaden the upper back and then set the heels down. As you do, start to pedal through that down dog. It's the first one of class. We want to make sure that we have good space here. Next, inhale, open the right leg towards the sky, lifting it up, three-limb dog. And then bend the knee, pull it into the chest, squeeze it in strongly, step the foot silently in between the hands. When you do, settle the left knee to the mat. Staying low this first time, start to bring the left hip a little bit closer to the mat, but as you do, squeeze inner thighs towards one another, settle tailbone down towards the mat. Breathe here. Checking in with hips here. And then when you're ready, begin to lengthen the right leg. So we're straightening that right leg by pulling hips back. Keeping your fingers templed towards the front edge of your mat. Maybe you need blocks here as a little extra elevation to bring the earth closer. On an inhale, straighten the spine, lengthen, pull shoulders onto the back, and then maintain that strong spine rather than folding in. Your left hand will stay connected to the mat. Right hand thumb is going to peek into that hip crease, fingertips radiating towards the glute, and then we're gonna dig down with the right foot. As we press down with the right foot, we're using the right hand to roll the meat, the flesh of the leg externally. Press here, squeeze here, and then gently become a little bit lighter in the left fingers as you squeeze inner thighs to maintain the balance. One more breath. Next inhale, roll forward, bend the right knee. Fingertips onto the mat. You decide here if maybe you're on blocks, maybe you're not. Use a strong inhale to bring that left leg towards the body, and then think less about the quad opening and more about shoulder opening. Reach back. As you do, take your right hand towards that left foot. Let the right knee fall out. Take an inhale as you press hips back towards the heel, straightening the right leg slightly. Come onto the knife edge of that right foot. And then exhale as you bring the hips back down. Press away with the right foot, opening the shoulder, opening the chest, dropping the head back. Inhale, feel that. Exhale, lift the hips, draw everything together, one tight, compact package. And then exhale, bending the right knee, letting it fall out, pulling back with the left leg to open the chest. And then softly releasing left foot, taking right hand back to the earth, settling the right foot back down. Use a big inhale here, tuck the back toes, power up the back knee, squeeze inner thighs together. Roll onto the back edge of that left foot, check in with alignment, heel to arch alignment, right fingertips to the outside of right foot, maybe they're settled onto a block. And we'll inhale, rotate left shoulder up, back, and away. Making our way into our Parsvakonasana, our side angle pose, squeeze through inner thighs, ground down through that left pinky toe. We won't be here long, but we just want to start to feel some opening through the side waist. So roll that left hip back. Let that left middle finger reach for the sky strongly. And then take your gaze down to where your right hand is. Firm the whole of the hand onto the mat. Press down with the left foot. Bring the right knee into chest. And then slide the foot all the way down in front of the left so that you're in a really strong side angle here. Squeeze inner thighs together. Breathe for one more breath. And then take that left hand down to the mat. Rotate all the way skyward. 3-limb dog. Exhale, pull all the way out into 3-limb plank. Ride it down through chaturanga. Settle the right foot down. Inhale, lift up, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal that out. Breathe here just for a moment. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Lifting that left leg nice and higher on the ball of the right foot. Roll forward, plank, knee to chest. Squeeze it in, feel it in. And then lightly land the left foot down without making a sound. Settling the right knee down, staying low here, reaching for blocks if you need them. Coming into our first low lunge on this side. Squeeze inner thighs together. It's as though the left heel is trying to reach the right knee. Shoulders are back into the back line of the body. Breathing easily. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Pull the belly in. Press down with the feet. How much more can you root into the mat here? And then finally begin to lengthen that left leg, peeling the toes off the mat. Fingertips stay far forward. Again, your blocks are a great tool if you need them. Reaching the shoulders away from one another. Shoulder blades retract towards the spine, so there's a soft connection towards the back of the body. And then left hand disconnects from the earth, left thumb comes into the hip crease, and we start to roll the flesh out. And as we do, it's really important that you press down with that left foot. You'll know immediately when you do because the belly of the hamstring will say, okay, that's where we were going. Get light in those right fingertips. So now it's really the strength of inner thighs. Right fingertips are acting as a brake, but they're not really doing any work. And then slowly take left hand back down to the mat. Bend left knee once more. Looking forward, finding your drishti, and then beginning to use the strength of your right leg to bring that heel in towards your body. Use a big inhale, open up, reach back, grab a hold of that right foot with your left hand, and as you do, let the left knee fall open. And again, it's not so much how deeply can I get into my quad as it is how much can I open my shoulder. So use an inhale, bring the hips back towards the heel, straightening the left leg slightly. And then slowly as you bend the left knee, use an inhale to lift the heart skyward. We'll do that again. Exhale, bring everything in together, tiny package. Use that inhale to open up the chest, fall back, open up, feel okay with offering. And then gently bringing yourself back to neutral, releasing the right foot, left hand comes to the mat. Situate your hips once more. We want them nice and square to the front edge of your mat, and then tuck your right toes, lift your hips. Look down at your left hand, place it firmly onto the mat as you roll onto the outside edge of that right foot. Doing a little fancy footwork to land the left heel in line with the right arch, and then we're lifting the right hand skyward. As you do, draw the shoulder blades into one another. So even though they're squeezing in, the fingertips are still reaching away strongly. Start to roll the right hip back, left hip under. So it feels like someone's gently twisting the hips towards the right edge of your mat. Look down at your left hand once more. Plant the left hand firmly. Start to pick the left knee into the chest. And then slide it out in front of the right. Maybe it lands down on the mat on this side. Maybe it's still lifted. Breathe. And then slowly, right hand to the mat. Step back. 3-limb dog. Use an inhale. Roll forward into plank. Exhale down, chaturanga. On the inhale, land your left foot down. Roll open, lift up. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Downward facing dog. And we'll take about 3 breaths here, just resetting. So if you need a few moments in child's pose, take that. If you need to pause and grab some water, do that. Otherwise, just settle into your down dog. Settle into the sensations in your body and ask yourself, where am I working too much? Where am I working too little? And how can I find the balance? This next block, we'll switch it up a little bit and then we'll put everything together. Next, inhale, lift right leg nice and high. Come all the way onto the ball of the foot. Think splits in down dog. On an exhale, roll forward, knee to chest plank. Squeeze it in. Keep the neck long here. Forget chin to chest. Instead, knee to chest. Pick the heel up. Step the right foot in between the hands softly. Big inhale, lift up. Asta Chandrasana, our high lunge. Work to scissor the inner thighs together here. Drag the feet together. Try to pick up the left hip just a little bit so that we're not falling into it, but we're elevated, we're lifting on purpose. Maybe take the soft bend as you lift the upper chest towards the sky. On an exhale, back to center. Look out in front. Focus on your drishti for a moment. Find something that isn't moving. And then take your hands behind your back. Press reverse prayer hands together. And maybe that's not quite in practice yet and we reach for opposite elbows. We'll get the same opening. We just want to make sure that we're not wrapping shoulders towards the ears. We're broadening the chest. Focus strongly on that drishti. Begin to straighten the front leg. Forget about dropping the back heel for now. Just think about pulling left hip around. Inhale, lift the heart up, look up. As you exhale, instead of curling chin to chest, reach your chin for your toes as you round forward, melt forward into your pyramid pose. Press the hands together, roll the elbows away from the sideways so you feel nice and strong. Breathe here gently. Smile. I've heard it makes the asana more advanced. And then gently releasing the hands from behind your back. Take them to the mat. Bend your right knee slightly. Step the left foot in just a little bit. Heel to heel alignment here. Left toes point towards the front left edge of your mat. Bend right knee over right ankle, and then inhale, lift hands up, warrior one. Palms together overhead if that's okay. And maybe you stepped your feet in a little too close like I did and you widen your stance slightly. Be mindful to pull that left hip around. So a lot of the times we like to spill open like we're in warrior two, but instead we're in warrior one, trying to bring that back hip forward. If it's too much on the knee, just come onto the ball of the foot. Stay where your body is okay today. Don't force anything. Breathe. And then softly begin to dive forward, hands connect to the mat, spin onto the ball of the back foot. Take your left hand about 6 inches to the outside of that right foot. Wrap your right hand around the back of your calf. Take a hold of your right ankle. And then inhale as your forehead moves towards your shin. Pick your left foot up towards the sky. Lifting up into our standing split. Seasoned practitioners, if you're feeling like you need a little bit more, wrap both hands around the ankle. Take that supreme balance as you lift the leg a little bit higher. And then softly take the left foot down, toes point towards the left edge of the mat. We'll cartwheel open, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Taking that fancy footwork once more, making sure that the heel to arch alignment in this pose makes sense for your body. Maybe feet need to be a little bit wider. Do what you need, not what I call. Fingertips together, belly in, left hip rolls back, right knee tracks open. Breathe. On an inhale, we'll move towards a variation of reverse warrior with arch your arms. So we'll flip the right palm up, bend at the elbow, rest the forearm on top of the head. Left arm scoops up and over, takes a hold of the right elbow. We'll pull back with the left hand, but press forward with the right elbow. So there's this really nice sensation moving up the right side body. As you're here, start to think reverse warrior, but instead of a side bend, think about a side lift. Reach that right elbow straight up. Continue to dive into that right knee. Breathe. And if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you're welcome to take the bend a little bit more, but continue to lift that right elbow skyward. That being the focus here. Cracking open serratus, opening up the thoracic spine. Breathe. Next, inhale, release the bend from your right knee and move towards reverse triangle as we lengthen the hands straight towards the sky. Try not to fall into that right hip, but press left hip forward so that we're strong and activating, squeezing legs together like they're going to touch. Smile. Soft bend into that right knee. Start to look 6 inches to the outside right edge of that right foot. Dive a little bit deeper into that right knee. Right fingertips connect to the mat, and we'll swing open into our Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon pose. Starting to extend fingertip to fingertip, finding space through the chest, and then asking yourself, what is my foot doing? Is it just kind of hanging out? Can I flex at the ankle, peel the pinky toe back towards the hip, and expand through the chest a little bit more? Maybe you stay here. Maybe you need a block. Fingertips on a block is a great idea. Maybe toes are connected. Maybe you're not quite in the lift today. That's okay. Stay where you're comfortable. If you're here and you're feeling okay with the balance, begin to bend the left knee, reach back for the foot. Think about the quad stretch here. Instead of really trying to get deep into our sugarcane pose, think about opening the front side of the left leg, maybe losing a little bit of weight in the right fingertips and rolling left shoulder back. Breathe here. And then slowly begin to bring our gaze back down to the mat. Seasoned practitioners will lever back, maybe through a handstand, maybe just through a quick float. Otherwise, step back, move through your vinyasa as you're ready. For those of you who want to practice floating, bend the right knee just a little bit. Press back with the left toes, come onto the ball of the right foot. Gaze is in between the thumbs, hands are pressed into the mat on purpose. And on an inhale, we'll drop the left foot ever so slightly. On the exhale, we'll swing it up, controlled, and lift up. Maybe you're in your handstand, you start to bend your elbows, float down into your chaturanga, inhaling into your upward facing dog, and pressing back, downward facing dog. If you travel to the front edge of your mat like I always seem to do, maybe giving yourself some more space, walking back just a little bit. Some of us will stay here for 5 breaths. Some of us will come down into child's pose, take a sip of water, breathe, whatever you need, do that. If you stay in down dog, be in down dog. Be here with your breath. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? Where am I feeling? Smile. Next, inhale, lift that left leg nice and high. Roll forward into plank, knee to chest, hover here, squeeze here, breathe here. Step the left foot down. And then inhale, rise up, Asta Chandrasana. Ooh, and you can tell we're building a little bit of heat because cannot do this with my hair down anymore. Hands up, right hip forward, tailbone down, breathing in softly. Squeezing through the inner thigh so that we're here on purpose. Taking that gentle back bend if you took it on the other side, lifting heart up, maybe dropping hands back. And then when you're ready, taking hands behind the back. Reaching for opposite elbows or taking palms together into that reverse prayer. Starting to straighten the front leg, focusing strongly on your drishti. Inhale, lean back, create space. Exhale, pull forward as you draw the chin towards the toes. Notice it's a balance. We're wobbling. We're trying to adjust to where we are in space. That's perfect. Do that. Breathe. Smile. Finally starting to bend that left knee. Releasing hands overhead, drop down onto the outside edge of that right foot. And looking down at our feet, making sure we're heel to heel aligned. We're finding our way back into warrior one. Pressing that right hip around, checking in with the outside thigh, making sure we're safe, we're feeling okay here. Breathing, pressing palms together, wrapping shoulders around. And when you're ready, sweeping hands down towards the floor, come onto the ball of the back foot. Right fingertips are in line with the left foot. Left hand wraps around the heel. Calf and forearm connect. And then we'll inhale, lift that right leg up. As the right leg lifts, we're squeezing that right hip down and around. Maybe finding something that's not moving to walk our right hand around that left ankle as well, so that we're practicing that supreme balance. If you're me, you're wiggling all over the place, you're okay with it, it's fine. We all wobble. It's part of the practice. And then gently begin to bend that left knee, landing the right arch behind the left heel. Inhale, windmill, open, warrior two. Shoulder blades together, neck is nice and long, fingertips reach. Feet try and spread the mat while inner thighs draw the mat together. Right hip rolls back, left knee opens out. What's that glute doing? Is it squishy or is it nice and firm? And then left hand reaches up and over, bend the elbow. Right hand takes a hold of that left elbow, pressing forward with the left elbow, pulling back with the right arm. And then slowly lifting that left elbow towards the sky. Trying to stay deep in our lunge, expanding through the side waist and maybe taking that bend a little bit deeper. Squeeze. Make sure legs are turned on as much as arms. And then begin to straighten that left leg. Arms reach up, left hip presses forward instead of falling back and away. And we'll reach from left middle finger to left big toe. Softening in just a little bit, bend that left knee. Take your left hand 6 inches in front into the outside of that left foot. Gently swing the right foot away from the earth, trying to get hip and ankle in one nice line. Right fingertips reaching for the sky. Again, maybe you're here today, and that's okay. Be here. But be there on purpose. Wherever you are, you're active. You're feeling out the pose for what it is for you in this moment. Maybe staying here or bend that right knee, reach for the ankle, squeezing hip and heel together, rolling right shoulder open, becoming a little bit lighter in those left fingers. Releasing that right foot, hands to the mat, soft bend in the left knee. Again, maybe you just step back through your vinyasa. Maybe you rise onto the ball of the left foot. Drop the right foot down gently with an inhale. And on the exhale, gaze between the thumbs, float, squeeze, maybe full handstand for a little bit. Maybe bend the elbows, dropping through to your chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Again, traveling that few feet I seem to gain every time I practice. And being here for 5 breaths. Maybe you towel off, grab a sip of water. We're gonna put all that together. Move a little bit quicker, and then we'll play with some strengthening, and we'll go right into our inversion. When you feel ready, lift on to that right foot, lift it up nice and high. Come onto the ball of the left foot. On an exhale, roll forward, knee to chest. Inhale, step that right foot down. Allow the left knee to come down. Inhale, pull back, half split. Exhale, forward, reach back for that left foot. Inhale as you connect hip and heel. Exhale, take the bend open. Inhale, bring right hand back down to the mat. Exhale, roll onto the knife edge of that back foot as we open into our side angle. Inhale, plant the right hand. Exhale, step back, side plank. Inhale, 3-limb dog. Exhale, knee to chest plank. Inhale, high lunge, right foot lands. Exhale, reverse prayer as we straighten the right leg. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, melt forward into our pyramid pose. Inhale, step the left foot forward, warrior 1, toes point out. Exhale, standing split, hands dive to the mat, left leg lifts. Inhale, warrior 2, left foot lands, open up. Exhale, reverse warrior with those archer arms, open up. Stay here for an extra inhale as you confirm into that right knee bend. Inhale, straighten the right leg, reverse triangle. Exhale, soften in the right knee as we move towards our half moon. Left hand lifts, left leg lifts. Exhale, reach for the bind. Inhale, extend. We'll move either through vinyasa or come into our handstand for a moment. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into our upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Settle for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Big inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, float the left foot, rise onto the ball of the right. Exhale, knee to chest, roll out into plank. Inhale, step the left foot down, low lunge. Exhale, peel the left foot back into our half split. Inhale, back into our lunge as we reach back for that left foot. Exhale, open into that shoulder opening twist. Inhale, back To center, lift the back knee. Exhale, roll open, side angle. Inhale, plant the left hand as you exhale, step back, side plank. Inhale, 3-limb dog. Lift the left leg back behind you. Exhale, pull it through, knee to chest plank. Inhale, high lunge, lift up. Exhale, hands behind the low back, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose as you straighten the left leg. Inhale, land onto the outside edge of that left foot, warrior one. Exhale into our standing split, hands land, leg lifts. Inhale, cartwheel open, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior with arch your arms. Staying here for an extra round of breath, feeling into that side body. Inhale, straighten left leg, reverse triangle. Exhale, bend left knee, land the left hand, half moon. Inhale, gently bring right hand down. Decide if you play with your handstand. Moving through chaturanga. Inhaling through upward facing dog. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Bending one knee and then the other. Just feeling that out. Being okay with being sweaty, I know I am. And we'll do that again. So maybe just taking a few breaths, pedaling out knees or coming into child's pose. Maybe you feel great and you're just hanging out in down dog, ready for the next bit. Wherever you are, do that. We'll do this a little bit faster, so if you need to slow down at any time, do that, that's fine. Do what you need, not what I call. Should really be the mantra. Instead, feel more, effort less. But truly, if it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Do what your body says. You are your own best teacher. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, step it down, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale into our bind. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, land the back foot. Parsvakonasana. Exhale, land the right hand. Inhale, step it out, side plank. Inhale, 3-limb dog. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, reverse prayer. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, standing split. Inhale, cartwheel open, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, hands to the mat. We'll skip the inversion this time. Stepping back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, right into the other side. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, into the bind. Exhale, open the chest, open the shoulder. Inhale, Parsvakonasana. Exhale, firm the left hand. Inhale, step the left leg out. Exhale, down dog kick. In, exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, reverse prayer. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, standing split. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, half moon. And skipping that inversion, right hand down, right foot plants, left foot steps back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment, bend the knees, bring chest to thighs. Wrapping the arms around, forehead connects to the mat, and just taking a moment to ground. Before we get upside down, before we focus on our forearm stand, just taking a few moments to reconnect, to remember that the mat is never as far away as it seems. That we are always safe when we practice with intention, when we listen to our body. So with that being said, if that was all you wanted to do today, if maybe you're a little spent after that, by all means, turn the video off, lay down, take child's pose, or rest in Shavasana for the next 7 to 10 minutes. Give yourself that time to reconnect, to settle. If you want to move forward, just gently begin to walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your head, shake it out, maybe towel off, take a sip of water. And we'll begin just by strengthening through the upper body real quick, just really firing everything up before we play upside down. So reaching for your blocks, if you have them pretty far away, we will need them in the next moment or two. We'll start by coming on to our belly. So firing up the back line a little bit, walking ourselves all the way down onto our mat. Extending one leg and then the other really far behind us so that you feel that pull right across the hip flexors. Taking your hands off the mat, fingertips connect to the mat, rolling shoulders back into the back line, and forehead to mat, chin to chest. Big inhale, lift up, peel up, cobra. And exhale, coming back down, forehead connects last. We'll do that 2 more times. Shoulders are in the back plane, drawing together, shoulder blades connect to the spine. Inhale, power yourselves up, squeeze through the low back, and then exhale, coming down, remembering forehead connects last. One last time, firm down with the pinky toes, roll shoulders back, inhale, lift up, chin lifts last. Exhale, coming down, chin curls to chest, forehead comes to the mat. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and then slightly down to the middle of the ribcage. Roll the shoulders back into the body, tucking the toes, trying to come up in one strong line. Press the pubic bone towards the mat as you hollow out the belly. One swift press, lift. Roll shoulders back, crown of the head lifts as heels rest back. And we'll take 5 scapular raises, so it's not a push-up, it's a drop of the chest, a press up, hollowing out of the back. Doing that 2 more times. Chest drops, back lifts. Chest drops, back lifts. 3 more. Chest drops, chest lifts, chest drops, chest lifts. Last time, chest falls, back of the heart lifts, knees to the mat, heels and hips connect, interlace. The hands roll, shoulders back, lift the head up, lengthen out the throat. Taking a big inhale, and then exhale, sigh it out. Inhaling, bringing chin back to neutral, walking hands out onto the mat. Connecting heels of the hands down and then bringing elbows right where the heels of the hands are. Bringing the belly back down. Do yourself a favor. See if you can line up the outer edge of the arm all the way to the pinky so that it's one strong line. And then try and press the wrists down as well. Once more. Hollow out the belly. Press pubic bone towards the earth. Press back through the heels. One big breath. Lift up, strong line. Look forward. Breathe. Check in with your alignment. How does your foundation feel? Press down with the wrists. Press down with the fingers. Pull the belly in. Breathe. Smile. And then drop knees to the mat. Sit back. This time interlace hands out in front. Press the palms away. Pull belly in. Lift palms over the head and then gently reach for the right side of your mat. Let the right hand be a little bit stronger as it pulls left over. Inhale back to center. Use an exhale to let left hand become a little bit stronger. Right hand reaches over. Inhale back to center. Walking out onto the mat. Take a block underneath your left hand, and instead of chaturanga, think military push-ups. So hands are a little bit wider, maybe the width of your mat, maybe even wider. Left hand is on a block, right hand is on the earth. You might do this on knees, you might do it with knees lifted. Wherever you are, come into a wide-handed plank. Maybe you stay here, or you roll onto your toes and take 3 push-ups. Dropping knees to the mat, walking your block over underneath the right hand, left hand connects, right hand connects, maybe knees lift, maybe knees stay down. Wherever you are, you're finding a nice line. Stepping knees back or feet back, looking forward, neck is long, belly is engaged, and taking 3 here on this side. And then bringing knees down, sinking back onto your heels, interlacing your hands out in front, and then looking and changing to the opposite so that we're balanced. Hands press up, hands reach towards the sky, big inhale, and exhale, lean to the right. Inhale back to center, use an exhale to lean left. Inhale back to center, sweep arms down by your side. Keep one block horizontal in the center of your mat. And the idea here is that everything wraps in. So a lot of times when we're in our forearm plank, we tend to be here. But we want to be here. We want to be really broad, just like we would be in our Tadasana or downward facing dog. So we want to practice that action first. Bringing your block in between your hands, bring knees together, walk the block forward slightly, and bend the elbows, checking in that elbows will be underneath shoulders. Slide the block forward as much as you need so that hands can press firmly into the mat, wrists can press firmly into the mat. And we're trying to find a nice space so that we can firm down with the forearms. Maybe you stay here. This is exactly where you need to be. You feel the pull in between the shoulders and you don't want to risk irritating anything. That's brilliant. Stay here. If you're here and you're feeling okay, you feel a nice distribution from fingertips through the wrist all the way into the elbows, tucking your toes, starting to pull the shoulder blades back into the back line of the body, tailbone tucks slightly as the navel center draws up and in, and we'll lift the knees. Keep the heels lifted at first. Try and find the wrapping in so the triceps are wrapping around the body. You'll feel it if they wrap in because serratus, the side body muscles over the rib cage, will start to fire. If you're here and you're feeling okay, shift your gaze in between your thumbs. Walk the feet forward gently. Press down through the whole of the forearm into the fingers. Press the chest towards the thighs and breathe. If you're here and you're feeling okay, maybe lift one leg. If you're here and you're feeling okay, drop that leg down, lift the other leg. If you're here and you're feeling okay, bend your knees, take your forehead onto the block. Wrap your arms around your heels and take a breath. Notice how this lifts the chin slightly. Take some space through the throat. Feel the compression of your chest on your thighs. We did get upside down, and it's a mini inversion, but it's an inversion nonetheless, and it can send some energy sweeping up and down the body. So just taking a moment to check in. If you're here and you're feeling good, lift your head away from the block. I will play with maybe lifting one leg and popping onto the ball of one foot and tiptoeing. So instead of jumping, flinging, and kicking, we're going to tiptoe. So what does that look like? And again, pause the video. Take it as much time as you need. You don't need to carry on. You need to practice where you're ready to practice. So coming almost into our table, bending the elbows, bringing them underneath the shoulders, broadening the upper back, broadening the chest, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Stay lifted onto the balls of the feet. Stay here. This might be exactly what you're ready for today. That's perfect. Otherwise, start to walk the feet in, narrowing your stance. If you're here and you're feeling good, lift one leg. Come on to the very, very tiptoes so that you start to feel that leverage. Switch to the other side. But you're just gently, just like we did in our handstand, we're levering with the straight leg. The bottom leg, come onto the ball of the foot, the knee bends, and you're just playing with a little bit of leverage. And then bending the knees. So take as much time as you want to play with that. What it is it's simply playing with the idea of using one leg to help float the other one up. So maybe you watch for just a moment and do that again. I'm going to talk a little bit less. So just to get us started, we'll straighten one leg, turn the hip down, bend the knee, come onto the ball of the grounded foot. Check in with the elbows, shoulders are broad, gaze is in between the forearms, and we'll bounce. And notice it's a bounce. It's not a, my legs aren't, it's just a very soft bounce. And we're using the straight leg to help lever us off the mat. That being said, if you came there and it felt like your foundation was really rocky, you might benefit from hands bound. I find personally that having that wider base for me has always been better, but it kind of depends on where you've practiced and what you've been taught and where you started. So if you like to practice dolphin with hands bound, first, it likely means that your shoulders are a little tighter than average, and maybe forearm stand isn't a great place for you to practice. Maybe you work on opening shoulders before you're really practicing your pincha. I find personally, for me, the advanced asanas are an opportunity to ask, why am I trying to get in this? What does it do for me? Is it simply that I think it's cool and I want to do it, or is there something about that pose that challenges me, that makes me work as a yogi? It's a place to focus. So if you like to do it with hands bound, same idea. Taking your elbows underneath your shoulders, braiding the fingers, press down through pinky, wrist, elbow. The whole of the lower arm is connected. And notice elbows aren't wide. They're nice and drawn in so that I can feel serratus activate. Really important muscle for this. We think it's a lot of core, but those side body stabilizers are everything. Press down with the knuckles, lifting onto the balls of the feet, walking the feet in a little bit closer, stepping onto the ball of one foot, bending the knee, lengthening the other leg back behind you, and then it's a pop. Notice, really important when you're practicing Shakti kicks for any inversion, that you don't move your gaze. Your focal point is your focal point the entire time. If you shift from here to here, your balance goes from here to here, and your whole body will move around that drishti. So just keeping that in mind. Practicing those Shakti kicks for a little bit longer, or taking a moment to shift up against the wall, and we'll play with coming all the way up into pincha. If you have a pincha practice, by all means stay in the center of your mat. If you're working towards pincha practice, come against the wall. Bring your block with you. I'd like you to practice with the block first, then we'll do braided hands. First, taking that block right up against the wall. So the really nice thing about the wall is it doesn't move. So it'll stay firm for you the whole time. Taking that parallel arm position at first. pressing your hands into the earth, wrapping the elbows in and lifting the tail, tucking the toes. Looking at your drishti. So spot it here now. I don't like to look too far forward because if you're too far forward, it will articulate into your low back. If the C spine is really curved, the L spine will be really curved. So spotting something maybe midway between wrist and elbow. Tucking your toes and lifting your hips, walking up gently. Deciding which leg you'd like to practice on first. Bending that knee, coming onto the ball of the foot, lifting the other leg stock straight back behind you. Press down into the earth on purpose. This is what's going to hold you up. Gently inhale as you drop the foot. On the exhale, start to lift and power up. And as you do, maybe you catch some hang time right away. Maybe you just float. One of the really nice things to do is as this top leg comes up, search for the wall. If you find the wall, use the bent leg to help pull the belly in. Press into the arms and squeeze inner thighs so that you're nice and strong against the wall. Then maybe scrub heels up the wall, pressing through the heels. Otherwise, gently, when you're ready, bend the knees. Bring one knee into the chest. Extend, come down, child's pose. Rest forehead to the mat. We'll do that again on the opposite side. Taking a few breaths in child's pose, just resetting. When you're ready, tucking the toes, lifting the tailbone, spotting your drishti, pressing down with your hands, and then lifting into our dolphin. Switching to the opposite foot, lengthening the other leg back behind you, bending, lifting onto the ball of the foot, pressing into forearms, into hands. Use an inhale, fill up. As you exhale, lever that other leg. Maybe you pop up. Maybe you find, which I'm not finding right now. Maybe you do a gentle hop. Maybe you find your way all the way to the pose. Bending and pressing. Bringing one toe. Maybe lifting all the way in to your pincha. When you're ready, bending knees, hugging them into the body, and settling down. Bringing that block back underneath the forehead, drawing hands behind you and taking a few breaths. So maybe you're here and you're feeling pretty spent. I know I'm a little tired. So if you're here and you feel like maybe this is too much, take a few moments, have a sip of water, and come back to the next when you feel ready. If you're feeling okay and you'd like to try it with hands clasped, we'll do that, one leg and then the other. And then we will cool down and get ready for Shavasana. So with our hands bound, we'll do this walking up the wall. So because when it's a little bit easier this way, it translates a lot to tight chest, maybe not quite strong through the back. We'll turn away from the wall. And what we'll do is we'll measure. We want to be about legs width away because you want to be able to walk up the wall and have space. So you'll just come into Dandasana against the wall. Feet will be out in front. You'll just kind of measure where your feet land, and that's where we'll place our elbows. So we'll swing around. Elbows will come into about that space. We'll bring feet towards the wall. We'll start with our foundation. So we'll braid fingers, press down, elbows as wide as the shoulders. Gaze is going to be once more in between the wrists and the elbows. So spot your drishti here. Where does it want to go? When you're ready, gently with balls of the feet against the wall, lift the hips up. And you might be here and this might be all that you're ready for, in which case stay here. This is brilliant. Otherwise, you're going to gently bend one leg, slide it halfway up the wall, and then straighten that leg. And as you do, you're going to try and feel out. So I can feel in my body that my elbows are too far forward of my shoulders. So I'm going to come back down. Bend the knees and adjust. And you might ask, how did I feel that? The caps of my deltoids were taking way more pressure than the outside of my body. Ideally, you feel a nice stretch all the way from the ears down into the rib cage. So feeling that went a lot into the deltoids, the caps of the shoulders, I'm going to slide the elbows back slightly. Braid the fingers once more, press down, and lift back up. Settling in here, wrapping and pressing, walking one foot up and then the other. That feels a little more stable. Pressing into the forearms, into the pinkies. I'm actually going to bring my gaze in between my arms. And here, I'm going to lift one leg and then bring it back down. And then I'll lift the other leg and bring it back down. And if I'm feeling really confident, maybe I'll lift one leg and allow gravity to pull that other leg off the wall. And then settle it back down. And then maybe try that on the other side, allowing gravity to pull that leg away from the wall. Balancing for a moment, squeezing through inner thighs as if they're going to touch. And then walking back down the wall. Knees connect. Playing with that for however long you want, trying not to burn out the shoulders, but giving yourself a nice stretch. And then we'll walk out onto our mat. And because that really does get in to those upper arms, we're going to take child's pose in a slightly different way. Bringing those blocks horizontal along the mat, giving yourself just enough space for your forehead to fall down in between. You're going to line those blocks underneath your collarbones. And bringing heels together, knees together, maybe a bolster underneath hips if hips aren't quite connected yet. And using that to broaden the chest, bringing the arms wide and forehead down. Maybe this is really uncomfortable and you'd like to wrap the arms back behind, you're more than welcome. I just find that this spreading of the chest feels really yummy after a few moments upside down. And taking in a long, deep inhale and asking yourself to effort less. So where are you still holding? What muscles are still firing as though they're holding you upside down in space? Maybe feeling out where you took that tension the most. Maybe it was in the base of the neck. Maybe it was in the jaw. Maybe it was in the shoulders. And just starting to settle those muscles. Just thinking about them, breathing into them, and letting them unwind. And sliding the hands back towards the shoulders. Take the blocks out in front on their medium side. Let the knees come a little bit wider. Big toes to touch. And then chest down. Forehead down if you're comfortable. Chin down if you're like me and you just cannot have your forehead to the mat. If you're curious, hit me up on Instagram and I'll tell you all about it. Each exhale is an opportunity to settle the chest a little bit closer to the mat, to get out of the need to fight and instead to find some space. I said towards the beginning of class that anytime we do any sort of upside down balance, we tend to pour a lot of stress into the shoulders, into the neck, into the face. So here, just letting all of that go. And finding some length in the side body, pressing your blocks away from your hand, forehead to the mat, and walking hands over to the right edge as far as they'll go. Keep that connection of left hip to heel and then wander the left fingertips in between the right fingers, pulling back, pressing that left hip to heel and just feeling that expansion from left middle finger through left armpit all the way down to left hip. And walking hands all the way over to center. Temple the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest away. Settle the hips nice and low. And then exhale, wander over to the right edge of your mat. Wander over to the left edge of your mat. This time hooking right fingertips around the base of left fingers. Pulling back, feeling length all the way from right middle finger, right elbow, right chest, right hip. Breathing softly, feeling as though you're re-expanding the body after compressing those muscles, after stabilizing yourself upside down. And then inhale, journey back to center. Walk the hands in to the body. Walk the knees towards the wrists. Swing the legs out in front. We'll take a gentle twist. Sitting nice and tall in our Dandasana for a moment. Pick the left hand up, bring it all the way to the outside of right foot. Big inhale, expands the right arm back, reach. Maybe look over right thumb. Check in with that right shoulder. Is it into the face or is it pulling down the back? And then gently come back to center. Take a hold of the outside edge of that left foot. Inhale, left hand back. Maybe looking back at that left thumb. Inhale, keep right hand where it is. Bring the left hand to cross over the right. Inhale, lift the chest up, lift the chin up. Exhale, pull the hands to bring the chest a little closer to the thighs. Maybe you're lifted, maybe you're flattened. Wherever you are, just using that pull to help lift and lengthen each vertebra away from one another so that we're finding space in between the vertebra. Sometimes when we get upside down, we compress so that we're finding space in between the vertebra. We stand all day, so we compress them. We get upside down, so we alleviate that compression for a little bit, but then it settles right back. So just taking this time to offer a little more space. And then finally, rolling up, releasing the feet, shifting the hips towards the center of the mat. Taking your block, one on its medium side, the other on its highest side. Settling that first block in between the shoulder blades, letting the head rest on the upper block. Arms out as wide as they will go, and feeling the connection of pec minor and pec major start to unwind. Allow the knees to fall away from one another. Soles of the feet come in, and we're just taking a moment, feeling how getting upside down can really shift some energy. Just getting in downward facing dog can spin some things, can loosen up some tight spaces, and let that energy flow. So whether you practiced dolphin or forearm plank, or you played upside down for a little bit with your pincha, and just appreciating all that energetic flow, shifting of our physical perspective, seeing the world a little bit differently. And when you're ready, sliding hands back in, curl chin to chest as you bring knees in together, rolling over onto right forearm to take the blocks out from underneath you, settling them away, coming on to your back, hugging knees into chest, sending the knees wide right and left, and then reaching for the outside edges of your feet as we come into our happy baby, rocking a little side to side, swallowing to relax the throat. Maybe you are feeling a little tension through the front side of the neck from lifting the chin so many times today. Bringing soles of the feet together, hugging them in towards the chest as you press the knees towards the outside edge of your mat. Really energetic Baddha Konasana here. Pressing tailbone long. Inhale, lift chin to chest. Shoulders stay pressing back behind the body. Back of the neck is nice and long. And then settle that down, almost with a slight tuck of the chin. Bring the knees together. Allow the arms to come out wide, right and left, palm side up. And then let the knees fall over to the right. And as you're here, just starting to really slow down the rhythm of your heart. Maybe today's practice was a little overwhelming mentally. We just start to quiet the mind, soften the breath so that the heart takes a softer beat. It's not pounding in our chest, it's just keeping everything moving with ease as it should. Softly inhale, knees back to center. Bring the feet down onto the mat, lift the tailbone, settle it towards the heels, separate the feet from the mat once more, and then let the knees fall over to the left. Noticing where you're feeling that the most. It's in your low back, it's in your legs, it's in your chest, it's in your hands, just paying attention. And each time someplace calls your awareness to it, breathing into it, opening it. Inhaling, knees back to center. Wrapping the arms around the shins, pressing shins to chest, toes reaching for the back edge of your mat. And then extending legs out long. Taking them as wide as the mat. Pressing the heels in as the toes roll out right and left. Interlacing the hands behind the head. Letting the elbows go wide. The shoulder blades soften down into the rib cage. Maybe taking a moment thinking about yourself lying on a beach somewhere with your favorite person, your favorite pet. Letting the chest open gently. Letting go of all the tension in the lower body as we focus on the connections of the shoulders to the torso, the muscles over the ribs, chest, back, feeling them begin to let go. Bending the knees once more, sliding feet into the body. Extend your right arm towards the sky, your left arm out at shoulder level. Press down with your feet, scoop your hips over to the left side, and then let knees fall to the right. And as they fall right, shift your gaze towards your left thumb, keeping chin away from the shoulder so that there's still ample space for your breath to flow. Trying to slow down the breath, maybe counting how many heartbeats it is for the inhale and trying to match that with the exhale. Use an inhale, draw knees back to center, press down with the feet, shift hips back to neutral. Bring the right arm out at shoulder level, the left hand overhead, gaze to center if it hasn't moved already. Press down with the feet, shift the hips right, bend or twist over to the left. Draw your gaze towards right side thumb. Maybe starting to tap in to the quiet space that we know is coming. Shavasana is just a few breaths away, so maybe starting to evoke that sensation now. Even in the gentle twist, feeling the body start to soften into itself. Feeling that release, letting go of the need to do. Inhale, gaze back to center. Lifting knees, pressing feet into the mat, shifting hips to the center. Arms slide down by your side, extending legs out long. Allowing the whole of the body to start to find itself rooted into the mat. So we started practice by thinking about settling in, about identifying how close the earth really is to us. It seems so far away when we start to play with inversions. But there's that expression, the mat will always catch us when we fall. Just below the mat is the earth, who catches us, who allows us to settle in, to tune out. Let each inhale fill you up, and each exhale settle you in. Let go. Let be. And I'll call you back in a few moments. Simply ride the wave of your breath into stillness. Gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes. And connect with an inhale and reach arms overhead as you lengthen toes out in front, just stretching and opening the body. And taking any shape that you need. Hugging one knee to your chest. And then the other is you wrap arms around and give yourself a gentle squeeze. Rolling to your favorite side and using your arm as a pillow. Connecting with the idea of lifting and rising into new beginnings and new opportunities. Press down with your upper arm. Inhale as you rise to seated. Connect the hands together at heart center. Soften the chin to the chest. Let the eyes get heavy. As you go throughout your day, remember the mantra, feel more, effort less. As always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to share sacred space with all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis. I absolutely adore getting to practice with you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification links. I try to add a new one every week. Hit me up on Instagram and let me know what you'd like to see on this channel. Thanks so much.